Hello, you're watching the Crypto Roundup on Proactive. Joining me for the last report of the year is Proactive's Billy Farrington. Billy, great to speak with you. It looks like a week of two halves for Bitcoin.
Certainly, Stephen. Hello, hello. Lovely to see you as always. Yes, a week of two halves for Bitcoin. I think it's safe to say. On Tuesday, Bitcoin ran up to a fresh all-time high of $108,000. First time at about $108,800 nonetheless. It's certainly the first time Bitcoin dollar pair ever ran above 108K. So a really, really phenomenal first half of the week. This was sort of a culmination, really, of the meteoric rise that we saw Bitcoin take after President-elect Trump's successful election in November on a bit of a pro-crypto platform. He's wasted no time in, appointing some pro-crypto advocates to some influential positions, et cetera, et cetera. And that peaked at a record high of above 108K on Tuesday. And that was about 140% year-to-date gain. So Bitcoin still is one of the best performing asset classes of 2024. But following Tuesday, we saw a pretty sharp reversal. If I'm looking at the spot markets now, Bitcoin's below $96,000 at the moment. So that's something like an 11% decline from Tuesday. So, I mean, that's a very sharp retraction. In dollar value, that's over $200 billion in value lost on the spot markets in the space of a couple of days. So, absolutely like a very sharp reversal from that very, very sharp incline earlier in the week. Week of two halves, as you say, looking at the markets right now as we speak. Bitcoin dollar pair is looking at around $95,700, which is about down 5% week on week.
Billy, what caused that sudden reversal?
Yeah, well, we had that Federal Reserve rate cut in the US yesterday. Main rate cut. So far, so good. Can't really complain about that. But however, it's about what happens going forward. So the markets are now predicting perhaps only two rate cuts from the Fed in the year ahead. If you look back at September, the markets were predicting more in the ballpark of like four rate cuts. So it was kind of a, I guess you could say it was a hawkish rate cut from the Fed. And that has kind of, that has knocked the equities markets, that has knocked Bitcoin. I mean, it's been a bit of a shocker for markets in general this week. If you look at the Dow Jones, I mean, Dow Jones had 10 daily losses in a row. The last time that happened was when Jimmy Carter was in office. So it's just been not a good week for markets in general. The Nasdaq's down sharply, et cetera, et cetera. So Bitcoin's certainly not alone, really, in its poor performance.
The Bitcoin ETFs nearly clinched a landmark this week. Billy, what was that all about?
Yeah, so Bitcoin ETFs, which were approved earlier this year in January, they've been a real catalyst for Bitcoin's amazing performance this year. So at the Tuesday's peak, they hit Bitcoin ETF holdings hit a record of $120 billion in assets under management, which is very much nearly surpassed gold's assets under management, the gold ETF assets under management. And gold have a 21-year head start on Bitcoin. It came just a whisker away. So gold on Tuesday, when Bitcoin ETFs hit $120 billion in AUM, gold was sitting at about $124 billion. So there's very nearly this big flippening where when Bitcoin ETFs surpassed gold. I mean, that would have been such a momentous occasion. But of course, as we've seen today, as you always see pretty much in the crypto markets, sharp reversals very often follow sharp inclines. I mean, it's such a volatile market. So that spread between Bitcoin AUM and gold ETM has started to widen, but still pretty amazing that Bitcoin ETFs in such a short space of time could approach such a close level to gold ETFs. I mean, pretty stunning stuff.
Yeah, I suppose it's pretty stunning that Bitcoin did cross that $100,000 mark during 2024, even though if it hasn't held on to it for the moment. Have to see what happens in 2025, Billy.
Yep, absolutely. Looking forward to it.
And that's a wrap for the last crypto roundup for 2024, and also the last one with you, Billy. Where are you off to?
I am heading for sunnier climes in the great south. Heading down to back to Australia after 18 lovely years of ups and downs in the UK, in London. Heading back to the homeland. I'm nervous. I'm excited. I'm scared. I'm sad to leave the UK, but it's also very exciting. And perhaps we can do one of these crypto reports when I'm chilling on the beach. How does that sound?
Absolutely, yes. As long as it's back above 100,000, Billy.
All the best.
All the best. Have a good Christmas and New Year.
You too.
That's Billy Farrington from Proactive.